the question says find the dates when sigma is 0. You need to know what is sigma. Sigma is the declination angle. That is when the sun is directly above the equator. So presenting our solution, as we know, formulas will lead us first. So the formula to calculate sigma is equals to 23.45 sine 360 over 365 multiplied by n plus 284, right? So we have to explain the terms in this formula, where we can say sigma. What is sigma? Sigma is the declination angle at the solar noon, is the same as what we said earlier, and n is the nth day of that time. Okay, so moving on to our solution, we have to write what we have and figure out what we don't have. So in this question we only have sigma is equal to 0, and this is a condition. And now we have to recall that sine 0 is equals to 0, sine 180 is equals to 0, sine 360 is equals to 0, sine 540 is equals to 0, and 0, 180 and 360 and 540, these are primary values of the function sine. And now we need to evaluate each and every value and observe the results as we move on. So starting with our first primary value, which is 0, substituting sine 0 is equals to 0, and 0 is equals to 23.45 sine 0, everything becomes 0. Okay, moving on to the second value, which is 180. Substituting 180 in our formula, we may get n as negative 151.5. Now we have to realize that there is no such date with negative. The date starts from 1. They are not less than 1. So dates are greater than or equal to 1. It can be 1 January, 2 January, and so on and so on. So the first PV gives us 0. So there is no such date, as date starts from 1. So 0 is not a date. So the second value gives us negative value, as it's less than 1. So none of those will work. So moving on to the third PV. The third PV is 360. So having our formula, plug in 360, substituting for n, we may get n as 81. 81 is now an nth day. We have a date for this one. So how do we find out the dates for the 81th day? So we list our months: January, February, March. January ends on 31, assuming that it's not a leap year. February ends on 28. So 31 plus 28 plus 31 will exceed 81. So we have to name it x and find the value of x. finding the value of x, we can say x is equals to 81, which is our nth day, minus the known 31 plus 28, which is 59. We get x as 22. So this will be 22, our x, replacing x with the 22. The date will be 22 March. So for the third value, the date is March 22. Moving on to substitute for our fourth value. Our fourth value is 540. So our formula, first write our formula, so that the work will be very easy. So substituting, instead of 360, we're now substituting 540, and evaluating for n, we find n as 263.5. so as we know, if you say 263.5, 0.5 day is a half day, we are already into that day, so we may round off to make it 264. Now finding the dates for the 260th day. Now we may list from January all the way up to that 264th day. So we may list January, February, March, April, May, June, July, August, September, October. We can't write October. Why? Because it will exceed now the nth day. So we may leave it at September. So we now know 31. How many 31s do we have? We have January 31, March 31, May 31, March 31, and June 31. How many? They are 4. We add them. We add the 30th, we add the 21th, we left out with x. Now how do we calculate x? We know n. So say x is equals to 264 minus the total 242. We get x as 22. So for the fourth PV value, the date was 22 September. So in conclusion, when sigma is 0, the dates will be either 22 March and or 22 September. So that's it for today's video. I want to thank you all for supporting us by liking, subscribing, comment and share our video so that we may keep on